Just want to walk you through a few of the trade setups today, May 20th, 2025 on Tuesday. A little bit of a choppy market. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And I saw a few comments come through on the Discord that they were chopped up and had some losses there. So let's discuss kind of ways to avoid that, and hopefully you can find some learning things from this quick video here. So I did think I showed 4 different trade scenarios you could have taken. I took a couple of these only, but just want to walk through them. Okay, so our first trade was right after the open, 746-ish candle there. I've got it marked as a number 1. You can see on this channel over here. This is the 30-second chart on the right, and then the 2-minute chart. We confirmed that both of these are in alignment, and we're good to go. Okay, so now what happened is these broke all below here, then we had a big push down, and then I was able to get in at this candle here after it broke the low of all of these here. Now you can see it is right in the middle of this here, but I did have some other lines drawn. I've just taken those off for now. That gave me another little push down that I was hoping to get. So the market was running down pretty well at that point, thinking it was going to continue down. So I was able to take some profits off of that one there. Okay, so actually a pretty clean move down there. And then once that happened, it came down, hit that line, and you can see it just went basically back to where it opened at. Okay, so we wait around for our next signal, which would have came at this point here, 8:04 Mountain Time or 10:04. Let's just scroll back here a little bit here so we can find that exact one right in this area here. So this is where it can get choppy, okay? So it gives you a signal. This one also is green here. And then we do have some support up here we could have went to. It just did not hit that, okay? So if you took that trade, you could have, obviously it's hard to look back and say, now we say, oh yeah, well of course you didn't hit, we would have stopped out there. So that's probably where the chop could have happened there. If you had your stop loss, it should have been below this candle here, below the arrow. That's usually the best place to put it for that. So my guess is that's where you may have taken a loss. Now, it was really slow. It was a really slow moving market right here, and that's usually a sign, okay? Slow market means you got to wait for the next trend to come in, okay? I don't know what just happened there. Let's go back to my candles here. Anyway, slow market. Find my stuff. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay, so if it's being slow, you want to wait for the second wave of the trend. That's going to be the most important part when you're looking at the second wave of a trend. Okay, kind of these are micro waves, but you can see one, a push up, another push down, and push up. Okay, you never want to get in on the first wave. Okay, so always wait for that second wave and then find something to go with. And again, these might be micro scalping. You may only be looking for 3 to 5 points if you're willing to take a trade if there's not a support line that's up there. Okay, so be cautious when you see this market not moving, and you'll know that. You'll see it's kind of in a range. You can draw some tops and bottoms in this area here where it's not going, or some trend lines. It was ugly. It was very ugly that point of the day. Okay, so that's most likely where you were chopped up and down. Again, wait for that second wave. This one gave a wave up, came down, and then it would have been nice to go there, but it did have a big push down. Again, finally gave another wave up for that. So let's look at number 2, which came a little bit later, which would have been at this candle right here, gave us a re-entry signal based off of this first one here. Again, this was definitely a riskier trade, very small. I did take this one. You can see it aimed up for that line here, which came from this top line here on the 2-minute. And, it was a tight one. I think it was 8 points for that one right there, okay? I was expecting it to go further. I wasn't taking profits, but I was expecting it to continue up, probably these lines over here on the 2-minute, but it did not. Okay, it stopped out there with small profits. You did have a chance if you were in profits a little bit here, you could have got out again, and then it just obviously went south from there. So days like this happen. You just have to protect yourself, be very tight, and if the market's not moving, best thing to do is to wait for that second wave push up, find it support and resistance. It's pretty close, and then be very cautious on taking your trades, or sit on your hands and wait. That's usually the best thing. All right, so number 3 trade came at 11 a.m. Let's just scroll over here. A big push down. Again, looking for that second wave. We had this little bit of a retracement right here. Nothing changed colors on the trade, but it did break below, again, another line of support that I had on my chart. And once we got that break on this, basically right in this area here, it's like this candle before, but it's marked as a 3, and it came down and hit this line here. So not a super clean trade, but if we look at this candle here, it's the, what's that, 1058 candle, and it was this one here. You go a couple minutes forward, 10:59:30 would be the candle that you would got in on right there, right before the box. So it did break. If I move this box out, you can see it did break below this line here. which is where I had my line at. And I said, well, it looks like it's going to push down. We've kind of had that first wave, a small retracement, and it did go down and hit that. Okay, so that was another small. I didn't take that trade directly. I demo traded it on my account, but did not take it directly. The first two trades I did take. So let's go to the fourth trade that I wanted to show you guys here. Kind of that same move down. It's very choppy here. Again, you could have looked at these buy signals, and if you were in those, you definitely could have been chopped out because it just ran up and back. It didn't do much in this area here. And those are hard, because this one could have obviously gone up. It did kind of push up, but then just came back down. Too much pressure there in the market. Just no real direction of where it was going for. So trade number 4, you can see here, signal came at 11:38 Eastern. If we come over here, you can see had a little bit of a retrace. And then again, it was just a small push down into the market, these lines here. So I guess the best thing I can say today is be cautious on ranging slow moving days. And you'll notice that. You'll be like, man, it's really not moving, but it's giving me a signal. Should I take it? Don't get into FOMO, fear of missing out, right? So worst thing you can do is just sit. Well, that's the best thing you can do too. Sit on your hands, let it play out, see if there's another wave, see if there's a retracement. Now you've got a new line that you can go and target for those trades. And again, protect your capital. That's what keeps you in this game the longest, okay? So there was a few more moves up, later in the day. I don't usually trade this late, but you definitely would have had some opportunities here as the market was moving. Just go a little further here. We did have some opportunities there to make money. So, but again, you don't want to probably trade that all throughout the day, but there definitely was, some movements up there and then a big move down later in the day. So opportunities are there, just depending on the time you trade is kind of what sucks. So be cautious on ranging days, slow moving days, and hopefully that helps you guys out understand what to look for, what to avoid in that. So winning day overall, but definitely a frustrating day, and I totally get where you're coming from, why you probably may have taken some losses if you did trade every signal that showed up. So anyway, hopefully that helped you guys out, gives you a little bit of understanding of wait for that second wave, maybe that third wave, wait for that retracement, then look for a small target if you're really wanting to trade. But sometimes it's really not worth the risk of just, if it's just going up 5, 6, 8 points, coming down 5 or 6, 8, 10 points, going up another 5 points. It's just a mess, and you just have to wait it out. So, all right, guys, hopefully this is a learning lesson for you there and how to watch for those ranging markets. Thanks.